a city of unbridled ambition.
This building is on Woi Road, in the commercial district, and it will become the Wall Street of Western China. It's going to be a huge project.
This is Chongqing, the megacity of Western China. It's here that one of the largest property companies in the city is building a new financial hub to equal its hoped, the likes of Shenzhen, Beijing and Shanghai.
The big financial institutions, the biggest international financial institutions and the major banks will come here.
32 million people live in Chongqing, the world's largest city, and it's developing at breakneck pace. Investment is huge. Local GDP growth stands at 15%, much more than the national average, and the standard of living is increasing at the same rate. 30-year-old Huang Ge is a typical Chongqing success story. He made his money in the financial sector and has developed a liking for luxury cars over the last 5 years.
In Chongqing, there's such a huge demand for Porsche Cayennes now that you can't find one at the catalogue price. You have to pay an additional amount to get one.
Huang Ge may be a big fan of sports cars, but above all, he's extremely careful about his privacy. Instead of an office, he spends most of his time in a 5-star hotel, meeting with fellow professionals, like the public relations officer of the Sports Cars Club, of which he's a member.
We raced with other club members. It's great. Some from Beijing, us from Chongqing. We met at 2 a.m.
Huang Ge runs his business from the hotel. A former employee of an investment fund, he is now his own boss.
Chongqing's a city where you can make your dreams come true. I have many friends who have their own companies and set them up in Chongqing. The city government really encourages entrepreneurship and provides a good environment for people to reach their full potential.
This is a city where economic success is everything. But 2 years ago, it was the politics in Chongqing that was making headlines. Songs to Mao's glory echoed across the city. The city's Communist Party chief, Bo Xilai, launched a neo-Maoist campaign looking to mobilize the masses as Chairman Mao had done during the Cultural Revolution. But with Bo's dismissal for corruption and abuse of power, there are now far fewer signs of those excesses, although some people still sing these revolutionary songs. But people are less willing to openly talk about Bo now.
We, the ordinary people, have no opinion on Bo Xilai. Well, you know, I'd rather not comment on him.
Some in Chongqing have no fondness for the disgraced party boss. Bo Xilai is synonymous with a crackdown on the mafia who used to plague the city, but also synonymous with crackdowns on dissidents, something that Feng Hong knows all too well. This former forest custodian shows us the labor camp where he was imprisoned for a year in 2011.
There you can see the Fulin district's labor camp for re-education. I call it the Fulin fascist concentration camp.
While in the camp, Feng Hong was forced to work 15 hours a day. China has around 350 camps like this, holding more than 300,000 people without trial. Bo Xilai imprisoned 3 times as many people like this compared to the heads of other major cities.
In one of those buildings, there's a team in charge of punishments. They punish the newcomers in the camp. You're not allowed to eat meat, to smoke cigarettes, and you must endure martial discipline every day.
All of this was meant to cure Feng Hong of commenting about political life in Chongqing and criticizing the human rights record there. He often posts his comments on Weibo, China's equivalent of Twitter, and it was a joke about Bo Xilai's speedy justice system that prompted his condemnation to the labor camp.
Everything was fine before. I did well in my work unit, but inside the camp, you're treated like a criminal, like you've committed a serious crime. They put you in the same category as drug addicts and thieves. You lose your dignity as a human being.
Released soon after Bo's fall from grace, Feng Hong was the first of his victims to be recognised as falsely accused by the local courts.
Because of this 1 year of imprisonment, I've made the whole world aware of the human rights situation in China. I can make the Chinese people see what Bo Xilai had done. It was a valuable experience. I have no regrets about what I've done.
The bitterness of Bo Xilai's victims is only one side of the story. He still enjoys a large amount of support, especially in the old city, where developers are looking to transform the area. Among them is Mian, who is overseeing the demolition of this neighborhood.
We are in charge of improving the living conditions of people here. Once we have destroyed the slums and renovated the neighborhoods, everybody will be happy. People can keep living like this.
The problem is that many of the residents they say they are trying to help complain about being mistreated and are only too happy to share their grievances.
How are we, the people, supposed to make a living? The authorities have asked me and my mother to leave our flat, but they've given us almost nothing in compensation.
For these people, there is one answer to their problems: Bo Xilai.
Bo Xilai promised to solve the housing problem. That's our biggest concern. I think he's a good politician. I support Bo Xilai.
When Bo Xilai and his police chief Wang Lijun were in charge, there were no thugs or gangsters on the streets. Now that they have fired Bo, the gangsters are back. Bo made big changes to the city. We still hope that he can be our president one day.
Bo Xilai's popularity comes from his social policies, in particular his construction of 40 million square meters of affordable housing, where we find Feng Hong visiting a friend.
Sure, they did invest a lot for the people, but it was not always the case.
Zheng Yu has been unemployed since a work accident. Fortunately, his family was able to get an apartment here. The monthly rent, just €6.
Here is the room of my two sons.
To supplement his income, Zheng receives €80 in benefits as well.
I have two children. Two children. We have a hard life. There is no work, and nothing we can do about that. We couldn't survive without this social housing.
By building this social housing, Bo Xilai won a lot of support amongst the population. People thought they had found someone in power who would listen to them. But if you know what Bo Xilai did, what his crimes were, we the people actually suffered.
Bo also has his supporters among the neo-Maoists. However, since his fall from grace, any such political gathering is strictly forbidden. However, through the internet, an unofficial group of neo-Maoists has banded together. And while their movements are closely monitored, they still hold small meetings. Their first venue is a place far from downtown. But they decide it's too risky there and soon move on.
Is that car following us? Note the number plate, 7185.
Eventually, they come to a restaurant, which they deem to be safe. The head of the network, Han Meng, is a former middle manager in a nuclear power plant. Originally, around 20 other people were supposed to join them here, but most of them were stopped by the police.
1 year after the fall of Bo Xilai, everyone's seen big changes. All the campaigns and measures taken by Bo in order to make people's lives better have been destroyed.
The other two are activists, bemoaning the destruction of their houses. The neo-Maoists listen patiently to their pleas in the hope of gaining the support of those they consider to be abandoned by the Chinese Communist Party.
They tell people, we're going to destroy your houses and your lives will get better. But are these people able to say no to the destruction of their homes? Do these people have the right to go to Beijing and complain? These days, it's hard to say.
Despite the constant monitoring, the neo-Maoists continue to hold these meetings as a way of letting the policies of Bo Xilai live on. However, many are happy to live their lives without a thought for the former party boss. Huang Ge continues to enjoy his material wealth. He's also the co-founder of an elite luxury car owners club.
Hey guys, how's it going?
He regularly meets with the other 20 members of the club to race at circuits near town.
Let me introduce our best driver. He's the first Chinese to raise the flag at an international competition. He took part in the Ferrari Challenge race and won.
I work in Chinese medicine, and I do some import-export business.
He mostly plays music.
Yes, I help my family with the business, but most of the time I play music. I'm a DJ.
The club members can drive around this rich suburb without causing offence. And the party goes on in a nearby restaurant with a city speciality, Chongqing hot pot. The club is eager to avoid looking like some of the privileged classes here who feel that they are above the law.
It is illegal to race without permits, to drive after drinking and to exceed the speed limit. Those are the fundamental rules, and our club makes a point of respecting those rules.
In China, the gap between rich and poor is still very large. Sometimes there are negative opinions about us and our club, but we try to avoid this kind of situation. We pay a lot of attention to it.
And that is China in microcosm, the fates of the rich and poor swirling around together in the melting pot that is Chongqing.